Hi guys, it's Kristen from Blue Egg Brown Nest. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have been hilarious and sweet and kind, and just really appreciate you taking my advice and opinion on chalk paint. So thanks so much for the feedback. This is kind of a big one today. It's the dark wax. And I know a lot of people have questions about it. I think it is a little bit more tricky because, again, it's up to interpretation of the way you want the piece to really look. For my house, I really like a really heavy distressed piece because I think it looks old and it looks more interesting. It's something I can't get in Pottery Barn, and I like that. My armoire in my bedroom is heavy, really heavily distressed, and it looks really old and really cool. So don't be afraid. Less is more. This is my Annie Sloan dark wax brush. It's smaller, which is important because you want to be able to control it a little bit more. The large wax brush is obviously bigger because you are slapping it on like I showed you last time. But the small wax brush, you can control a little bit more. Same thing, if it starts getting cakey, you just soak it in your lye soap and it'll come off. All the cakiness will come off. But this is a good small brush. Again, I wouldn't recommend using a drop cloth or any kind of cloth for it. I mean, you could, but you're not going to get the kind of control that you want. Here's your Annie Sloan dark wax. As you can see, mine has been used. And don't mind my dog. I have a baby asleep. Two girls are out visiting Uncle Brado before Frankenstorm hits. And that's my dog, Kane. He's a 100-pound chocolate lab who's 9 years old who acts like he's 2. So he's the one who's causing the ruckus today. But again, just trying to keep it real. I am working out of my garage. So anyway, this is your dark wax, and I like tar, really. It's like tar, and it's important to keep the lid pretty tight on it because it will dry out, and you don't want hard wax. That's just not fun, and it won't work really well. Something I forgot to mention last time is you want to go straight in with your brush. Because it's going to cover the whole brush. If you start digging around, it's going to get kind of on the circumference, and you're not going to have the same kind of control. So really, what I do with the dark wax is I blot it, I rub it off. It's so funny, I do get a little bit nervous when I do the dark wax, because as you can see, it can get muddy really quick. The next thing that you have to have on hand, and not 10 minutes later, you need to have it right here when you're doing it, is I found, this is the best thing for me, is steel wool that is very fine. So don't get hard steel wool. Hard steel wool will make lines in your beautiful piece. It'll make indentions. You don't want that. You want fine steel wool. You probably can't tell, but the fineness that they have. Because what this will do, I'm going to be holding this in my right hand and this in my left hand, and I'm going to work together because this will brush off any muddiness that I get. I also have my drop cloth in case things get out of hand. I feel like I'm scaring you a little bit, but don't be scared. So you just want to start where you sand it, basically. That's why the sanding is important. The sanding created some distressing. The wax is going to create kind of like that real dirty antique look that's going to separate your gorgeous piece from other people's Pottery Barn dipped painted piece. As you can see, Jamie, I'm going to answer your question. Jamie, I only did one coat on this because I really like the way it was looking. So this is one coat. This is obviously very shabby. I'm going to do a close-up after I'm done because I don't think you can quite tell how shabby it is just from looking at from the camera here. But it's pretty shabby up close. So I'm going to be a little more liberal with my dark wax. So start in your big, long surfaces on the edges, and you get the idea of how it's coming off. What I'm afraid of is that you're not going to really be able to see what's happening. So I'm rubbing it on, and I'm going over with this. Rubbing it on, going over. Not much is coming off. I still have a lot of control. I really want to get it on kind of not the exterior, the outline of the piece, like all the outline. So everything that's running, all the rows and everything that's running vertically and horizontally. Not so much here. Don't touch here yet. Don't touch your flat surfaces yet. And again, I'm going to go in straight, rub it off. Take my fine sandpaper, go down, just go on the edges here. I'm going to go a little bit thicker because it's worn down here. I mean, it's pretty rough down here. But again, I like that on this type of piece. I mean, if I were doing a piece that was, say, a duck egg blue, you're going to go super light on that because any kind of dark wax is going to really tint it. This piece, again, it's pretty rough. So I hope you guys can kind of see what's happening. It's getting kind of a tinge of that brown that we want to see. You can probably see that. And that's why I like it really light on my brush, so I can keep going over it and making it more antiqued. And again, you just kind of got to see what's happening with it. It's a really organic process. So, you know, I can do these tutorials, but you're really not going to find out what happens with you and your piece until you experiment with it. And again, don't worry about messing up. I could paint over this right now. The wax wouldn't matter, the dark wax wouldn't matter. That chalk paint is amazing. It would just go right back over it and you can start from scratch until you get the piece that you like. So don't worry if you're doing grandma's old coffee table and your mom's not happy that you have decided to paint it because it's not turning out too well. Do it again. Do it and try it in a different color. Just don't stop until you get what you're looking for because it will turn out cool if you like the painted look. Again, I'm hoping you can kind of see what's happening. I'm going on all the edges. Now, I don't want to just do edges because it looks obvious to me that the row here is a little bit darker. So I'm going to put a little bit on my big surface. And this is where you have to get careful because if you put too much, it's gonna look like a railroad track. It's just gonna look muddy. Oh, I'm doing kind of blotting on my thing. And if you blot it, obviously turn it over. And you wanna go real light here. And then I go over it so I don't get kind of track marks. You don't want it to go, see it gets a little thick there. You just want to go, see what happened here? You just want to go over it. So you're not getting anything that looks too clumpy. How are we doing? Okay, I don't think I did this, did I? Yes, I did, but I want a little bit more. When you're doing a big surface like the top of your piece, what I do, this is going to be a little bit more tricky because I am vertically challenged, as you might see. So for a piece like this, I would actually stand on something, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you what I would do if it was like a long, low buffet. So pardon my back towards you, but I literally get my body into it like this. Because you want to lightly go over the top. You don't want to stop because if I go like this and I stop, I'm going to see that I stopped. So go lightly over the whole thing. Go back over with your fine, hi, back here now. Your fine steel wool. And go all the way to the edges. And then immediately go over with your steel wool. Here comes the storm. it's like blowing and stuff. So I kind of like what's happening up there. I know you can't see it, but kind of take a step back, see what we have. I think it looks really cool. The last thing to do, we're almost done, is to have my dear husband put on the hardware, because that's his job. That's, as he would say, that's how he gets paid the big bucks. I'm not even going to attempt to do that, but I am going to show you a picture when I'm done. So that's going to go there, basically, just to give you an idea now. This is so cool. I think this is what, this is going to sound really cheesy, but look at your piece before you start it and see what kind of, I don't want to say what the piece wants to be, but a little bit. You kind of want to see what it wants to be. This piece is old, and it's rusted, and it's brown, and the glass is brown, and it kind of wanted to be a little bit shabby. It didn't want to be clean. It wasn't going to go in a little, I don't want to say a little girl's room, because I've sold a lot of distressed pieces to little girls, but it wasn't going to go in a no, because shabby looks great in pristine houses. This was a really shabby piece, and it wanted to be that way. And I love it like this. I wanted to just mention while I'm talking to you how I go about pricing things, because I am totally new to this business part of it, but this piece, something like this, it's important to keep in mind that I had to buy this piece from somebody, and then I had to have it moved here, and then I had to buy my paint, which now is $38 a can. It's worth it, because Sloan is the only one that makes chalk paint. It's worth it, but it is expensive. And then the wax, I use a lot. You're going to use a lot of wax, especially clear wax. The dark wax won't go so fast, but the clear wax, like I showed you, it really put it on. So use a lot of that. And then I'm supposed to factor in my time, which is hard to do, but it's, it is a factor, because I'm staring at all my kids' bikes lined up here. My kids are here. So I'm going to post on it, but I just kind of wanted, while I'm standing here, now that I have a finished piece that I'm getting ready to sell, I haven't come up with a price yet, but you'll see it online. It's tricky coming up with a price, but I do have to factor in literally the cost of the piece. I just wanted to mention that, because believe me, if I could, I would give a piece to every kind reader out there if I could. Because it's just fun for me to do. I feel a little bit sad because I'm going to say goodbye, but it's good to have coffee nearby. It's good to have your iPhone nearby. On the weekends I listen to NPR, Prairie Home Companion, because it's hilarious. I have my caddy here with all my brushes, and I'm going to do another tutorial real soon on something else. Maybe a different color, maybe a chair. I'm definitely going to do my TV screens. I have most of my frames here, and I have my vintage postcards. So I'm going to work on that, and I want to show you the process of doing that, and I'm going to start selling them hopefully in the next few weeks. Again, my dear husband is getting custom-made hinges, so the Blue Egg Brown Nest hinges, which we're very excited about. Before I let you go, I just want to show you my kids' bikes and what I look out on. My kids are not here, but I see their handsomely carved pumpkins and their bikes. And thanks again for watching. Please email me with any questions, and have fun, because you can put your finished piece in your home and look at it and say, I did that. And it was a kind of an ugly brown piece before. All right, bye.